And I believe we are live. Yay! Hey guys, welcome back to another live on my YouTube channel. So this is the second live in which I'll be doing. I wasn't actually planning, to be honest, to be live so soon after doing my live last Sunday. But I did a poll on my IG on my YouTube community tab to ask if you guys want to see more lives from me. And the feedback was yes. So I was like, okay, cool. You guys want to see more lives? I can definitely do that. How often do you want me to do them? So I've done a poll saying, should it be weekly, fortnightly, monthly, or quarterly? And surprisingly, the most people actually said it should be weekly. So that's something I want to try and do for a period of time. It's not something I can say, let me commit to indefinitely. I think that's going to be too much for me to say, yes, I'm going to be doing live every single week. But definitely for the next few weeks at least, I'm definitely going to try and do these regular lives and see how it goes. Sorry, my phone just made a noise. But yeah, who we got joining me on the live? Let me know who you are, where you've joined from, because all I can see is people have joined, but I'm not sure where you're joining me. That would be good. Let me know how your day is going and how your week is going. But in terms of today's live, what I'm planning to do basically is, well, you can tell by the title actually, to be fair. But what I want to do is basically talk about a book that I've been reading this month. So for the year 2021, I set myself a challenge of reading 21 books in 2021. See what I did there? It's basically a case of reading 2 books a month, but 20 and 20, 21 and 21. I just thought it sounded good. So I'm on track at the moment to actually reach that goal. So I have been reading 2 books a month. So in January, I read Atomic Habits and Make Your Bed. 2 amazing books. You definitely check them out. They're all about productivity and forming good habits, and loads of stuff about getting the best out of your time and out of your day. So in the month of February, I read Black Girl Finance by Selena Flavius. Amazing book as well. If you really want to get to grips with the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of personal finance, then it's definitely a book I'd definitely say check out. And then the second book that I want to talk about is the book that I'm going to be talking about most in this video, and it's the 12-week year. And it's, I can't remember the name of the author, to be honest, but it's a really good book, 12-week year. And it basically talks about how to basically shorten your year. So get in a year done what you would do ordinarily in 12 weeks. So in essence, you can basically have 4 years instead of 1 every single year, if that makes sense. So rather than having it as, I set my goal at the start of January and then I don't look at them again until the end of December. This way, I'm actually looking at my goals from the start of so from January to March is basically 1 year, and then from April to May, June, April to June is another year, etc., until you get to the end of the year. So basically, you've got 4 chances at having an amazing year, as opposed to just having 1 chance of having an amazing year. And what makes it an amazing book, and why I recommend it, and why I'm talking about it in this video, is the fact that you basically accelerate your results, because rather than achieving something in 4 weeks, rather than achieving something in 12 months, you're achieving it in 12 weeks. And when I first read it, I was just like, that doesn't even make sense. How am I going to achieve in 12 weeks something that I would achieve in a year? But it basically talks about the fact that when we have a lot of time to reach a goal, we tend to take longer to reach that goal. So if you've set yourself 12 months, to achieve something, it's going to take that whole 12 months, which is why if you look at businesses, for example. Oh, thanks, Yvonne. I'm just talking about it now. So I'm just talking about my the book, The 12-Week Year. So if you set yourself, if you look at businesses, for example, they say, in the space of 12 months, they want to, you set financial goals, at the beginning of the 12 months. And then at the beginning, everybody's all raring to go. And it's like, we're working hard. We're going to reach these goals. We're going to smash these goals. And then fast forward, you get to like November, and that's when everything ramps up again. That's when everybody is working hard to try and reach those goals, because the deadline is fast approaching. So the idea of the 12-week year is that you have shorter deadlines, so you have a shorter time frame to reach that goal. And when you have less time to reach that goal, you're going to work at a higher optimum. You're going to work at a better rate, basically. So you'll be more efficient with your time because the deadline is fast approaching. So when you know you've got 52 weeks to reach a goal, you tend to take your time. Whereas if you know that goal needs to be turned around within 12 weeks, suddenly it's more urgent. And because there's more urgency to reach that goal, you're more likely to put in the work to reach that goal, if that makes sense. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys are with me and how your day is going, and if you've read the book, The 12-Week Year. Actually, let me know if you've read it or if you've heard of it, because it is a really, really, really good book. But just going back to my notes, so let me slow down now. I can slow down and breathe because I talk well fast when I'm excited, and as you can tell, I'm quite excited to speak to you guys this evening. Okay, so yeah, so I've covered the book. It's by, the author is Brian Moran. I hope I'm saying his name right. Brian Moran and Michael Lennington. So those are the authors, two authors who co-wrote this book. And like I said, it's basically a self-help book which helps you improve your productivity and performance by giving you basically simple and effective framework for setting goals and actionable targets and tactics, for executing those goals that you've set yourself. And yeah, basically, like I said, achieve what you would in 12 months within 12 weeks. So, and I guess the main thing that he spoke about, or what the author spoke about, is the fact that a mindset shift needs to take place. So a lot of time, when we think we have a lot of time, it takes a lot of time. But if you think to yourself you have less time, then suddenly there's more urgency and you pick up momentum and you get the work done a lot quicker. And basically, a month is equivalent to a week, and then a week is equivalent to a day when you have the 12-week year. So if you're thinking you need to do in a week what you would ordinarily, if you're thinking you need to do in a day what you would do in a week, then you have a lot less time to get it done, and it seems more urgent. And you're like, oh my gosh, crap, I need to pull up my socks and get this thing done. And that's basically something that really inspired me. And I was like, do you know what? We're currently in lockdown. Lockdown is easing up. We've got about, Boris has told us anyway that we should be out by June 21st. That date is etched in everybody's memory, because we're like, oh my gosh, we're almost out of this, hopefully, God willing. So knowing that we've got approximately 3 and a bit months of time at home before we go back into society and things hopefully resume to some kind of norm, I was like, do you know what, this is perfect timing, the time that I've read the book versus the time that I've got left before being let back out into society. So I'm like, what could happen if I actually apply what I've read in this book to my life? Because I've read so many books on personal development, self-help, etc. Like, I already named some of the books that I've read already this year, earlier on in the live. So it's like, okay, yes, Tolly, you've read all these books, you're gaining all this knowledge, you're gaining all this insight. That's fantastic. But what are you doing with this information that you're gaining? Because the book is only as good as the application to your life. If you're not actually applying what you're reading and what you're learning, then it's kind of a pointless exercise, isn't it, really? So I was like, okay, what could happen if I actually try and have my own 12-week year? What can I actually achieve if I set myself this task and this challenge? And I do love a challenge. If you follow me on Instagram, if you ain't following me on Instagram, definitely go and follow me on Instagram. But on Instagram, I talk lots about my goals and things like that on there. But what I really wanted to do is document this journey on here with you guys, to kind of share my goals for my 12-week year and kind of document how the process is going. So show what it looks like when you actually take the theory, take what you've learned and what you've read, and actually apply it to real life situations. So in the book, he actually gives you a framework. So there's literally 8 elements or 8 elements of high performance. So there's basically 8 steps or 8 things that you need to do in the process and apply it to your goals and your plans. And then basically, if you do it successfully and effectively, then 12 months down the line, or 12 weeks, 12 weeks down the line, you should have reached your goal and arrived at your goal. So that's what it promises in the book if you follow these steps. So I'm like, okay, do you know what? When I read slow down, Tolly. When I read The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, I applied what I learned in that book. I applied the steps and I was able to pay off my debt. So it does go to show that, when you apply the things you read in these books, it does work. So I'm like, okay, this 12-week year, there's some truth in it. Because if I just take, for example, myself today. So one of my goals that I set myself for February was to finish writing my ebook. So this is the ebook that has been in the pipeline since last year. And I finally put it on my goal list for the month of February. I was like, no, February, I'm going to finish the first draft of this ebook. And that was my goal for the month. The first week of February, I wrote quite a lot of the ebook. And then the second 2 weeks, I didn't write that much on the ebook. And then this last week, knowing that my deadline that I self-imposed is approaching, I've been trying to put in the work so that I can get the ebook finished. And today, on the 28th of February, I finished the first draft of that ebook. Yay! But yeah, so I finished that first draft because I knew that the deadline was coming. But if I hadn't set myself that deadline and it wasn't fast approaching, knowing myself that ebook will still be pending and it will still be on my to-do list waiting to happen. So that just made me think more about the 12-week year and what they talk about in the book. And it shows that it's actually true. Like, if you don't apply, if you don't give yourself some kind of urgency, and there's no urgency to meet these deadlines, a lot of the times they don't get met. Hey, Afia, thanks for joining. How are you? How's your day been so far? I'm just talking about the book that I read, 12-week year, and my plans to implement them for the next 12 weeks and smash my goals for the next 12 weeks. But yeah, very ambitious goals I have, which I'm going to talk about very shortly, guys. But yeah, I'm just giving you a bit of a synopsis. Oh gosh, I can't say the word. A synopsis of the, I can't say the word. A synopsis of the book, because it's a really good book and I think everyone should buy it. But yeah, no, it's a really, really good book. So he talks about in the book you need to back to the 8 steps. Sorry, so the 8 elements for that are fundamental to high performance in any endeavor. So you can apply this to any areas of your life, Rob, whether it's financial goals, spiritual goals, intellectual goals, any kind of goals. Oh, you've heard of the book? Yeah, it's so good, isn't it? So no matter what your goal is, you can apply these 8 elements to it, and you will achieve great results. So the first step of the process is basically to have a vision. So you need to have a compelling vision in which you're working towards. And I think a lot of times we may set ourselves goals or tasks or things that we want to do, but we might not necessarily have the big picture in mind. So he basically talks about the first step is to have that big vision, the big plan in which you're working towards. Once you've got that big vision in place, then you can go to the second step, which is to actually plan and execute, like plan what you're going to do. So how am I going to achieve what I need to achieve in the next 12 weeks in order to reach that goal that I've set myself for the 12-week year. And then the next step is process control. And I think that's so important in terms of measurement, like measuring what it is you're trying to achieve. Because it's one thing having a goal and having a plan, but how do you know if the plan is working if you're not constantly reviewing it and actually revisiting that plan and tweaking it? So he talks a lot about having that in place, which is really good, process control, because a lot of times I know for myself, I've been guilty of that, where you have tunnel vision and you're like, okay, this is what I'm trying to achieve and this is what I'm working towards, without necessarily counting the cost or seeing if it's working and reevaluating what you're doing as you're going through the process. So I think that's so important, process control. Then the next step is measurement. Again, measuring the process of what you're doing or the progress of what you're doing was very important. The next one is time use. So how are you using your time and allocating your time, which is really important, especially when you're doing the 12-week year, because like I mentioned earlier, 1 month is equivalent to 1 week. So you're trying to do in a week what you'll do in a month. So making sure that you have the most effective use of your time is so important. To hold you to account on these goals in which you set yourself. And it's so true, like having an accountability partner will help you go a lot further. Oh no, definitely read it. So you're just saying you've heard of it, but you've not read it. Now read it. It's a really, really good book. Like I've been promoting it to everybody that I speak to because it's so, so good. And then the next thing is, after accountability, you've got commitment. So keeping the promises that you've set to yourself, like actually committing to it. Because I think in the book, he gives an example of like athletes, and that's the difference between average athletes and athletes that are really, really good at what they do and the best, basically. Because the best performers are the ones that show up even when they don't feel like showing up, or even when it gets too hard or gets too difficult. They're the ones that keep going and do the extra bit. So they're committed to the process regardless of how they're feeling. And I think, that's one area that I'm definitely going to work on a lot over the next 12 weeks is that commitment, because it's easy to show up when you're in the mood and when you feel like motivated and amped up to do things, but it's a lot harder to actually follow through when you don't feel like doing it or when things aren't going according to plan. To still show up and be committed to the goals you set yourself is a very challenging thing to do. So I'm definitely challenging myself to try and do that over the next 12 weeks. And then the final one of the step of the process was greatness in the moment. And the idea of that last step was basically giving it all in the time allocated. And I think, again, this is something that I've been guilty of in the past, is that maybe I set myself 2 hours, for example, to do a task. And of those 2 hours, probably an hour of it I spent doing a task, and the other hour I've been on Instagram, been checking my YouTube comments, just doing other stuff that is not the task at hand. And then in essence, by doing that, I'm not getting the most out of that time. And I'm not getting closer to the goal as I should have if I had just focused solely for that time in which I'd allocated, if that makes any sense. So it's so important. So it was a quote actually that I noted down that I thought was so good. So it's greatness is not achieved when a result is achieved. It's achieved long before that, when an individual makes the choice to do what is necessary to become great. So I'm going to read that again. Greatness is not achieved when a result is achieved. It's achieved long before that, when an individual makes the choice to do what's necessary to become great. I was like, wow, when I read that in the book, I was like, yeah, it's so true, actually. It isn't even just the results. It's you being great in yourself, you showing up, you doing what's required day in, day out, minute after minute, hour after hour, even when you don't feel like doing it. That is how you're going to end up as a byproduct being great, if that makes sense. So like athletes, like the late LeBron James, I'm not even saying the guy's name wrong, sorry. But even him, like that was one thing that he was renowned for, the fact that he outworked everybody, which is why he was so successful and so great at what he did, because he showed up even when he didn't feel like showing up. It was just in him, like it was just like in his DNA to show up and do the work day in, day out, regardless of how he was feeling. And I think that is a lesson that I've taken away from his life, and it's a lesson that the book basically talks about a lot as well. And I think if you try that and apply it to your lives, it will probably help you a lot in terms of productivity and reaching those goals in which you've set yourself. So moving on to the 12-week year challenge that I'll be doing over the next 12 weeks. So obviously, like I've said for the last 10-15 minutes, been banging on about this book and how amazing it is. And I hope I've sold it to you guys. I hope you lot check it out, because it really is a fantastic book. It was actually recommended to me by one of the ladies in my book club. So we have a book club. I don't know if you know about it, but if you go to my page, under any of my videos, there's a link for you to join the online book club. So we meet up once a month to discuss one of the books in which we've read. And yeah, in that book club meetup, one of the ladies actually recommended the 12-week year to me. And I'm so glad she did, because it's been a game changer for me. And I'm hopeful, and I'm really excited to see basically the effects of me applying what I've learned in the book over the next 12 weeks. And I've actually got my husband to read the book too. So he read it. He finished it before me. Imagine, I started it first, told him about it, and he finished reading it before I finished reading it. Typical, because he just loves books. But anyway, he recommended the book to me, and he was like, no, you need to I told him about the book. He read it and he was like, "No, babe, we need to do this. We need to do this." And I'm so glad that we were both on the same page, and we both were like, "No, let's have a 12-week year." So we're both starting this challenge tomorrow on the 1st of March. Like, we're going to be doing our own 12-week years together and individually, because we have obviously different goals in which we're trying to work on. Ultimately, it's all for the betterment of our family and our home, but we have different things that we're going to be working through for the next 12 weeks. And what I've decided to do is basically share that journey with you guys on YouTube. So I want to basically document the whole journey, because I think it'll be really good to look back in 12 weeks time and be like, oh my gosh, this is what happened each week along the way, and to see my progress and to see how far I've come. I hope it's not 12 weeks time I'll be like, oh guys, nothing happened, I didn't hit any of those goals and everything's the same. But I don't think it will be, because some of the fundamental things in the book that he mentioned, I'm definitely going to apply it. It's about showing up when you don't even feel like showing up. I think that's the biggest thing for me, like especially that waking up early on days when I feel like it, I can do it. On other days, if I just say to myself, I'm tired, I just don't get out of bed, and then it's just a ripple effect and a knock-on effect for the rest of the day. So it's definitely something I'm definitely going to be working on over the next 12 weeks. And I think sharing it with you guys so publicly, because you might be thinking like, Tolly, why are you telling me your life story on the internet? But it really does help, because the encouragement that I get from you guys is really, really actually helpful. And just having that accountability. So like I mentioned earlier, one of the steps that he said is to have accountability. When you have an accountability partner, it helps you stay the course and it holds you to account on the goals that you set yourself. And I think, yeah, just having you guys keep me accountable makes me stay the course, especially knowing now that I'm going to be coming back in a week's time to be like, oh yeah, guys, this is what I achieved and this is how the week went. So I need to have something to come back and report. I need to have something to feedback on. I can't just come back and just tell between my legs, have nothing to say. That's not a good look. So definitely in the next week, hopefully I'll be a lot further along with the goals in which I've set myself for the 12-week year. So I can do a separate video actually where I kind of share the whole 12-week year plan, how I've structured it, how I'm doing it, actual goals step by step in which I'm working towards for the whole 3 months, and then also what I'm planning to do on a week-to-week basis. So what I'm going to share with you guys now is like a bit about what I'm planning to do for week 1, but it's not going to be the full 12-week year plan because there's a lot in it and it's a whole video in itself, and I can't be on this live for too long because the kids are going to come back any minute and you're going to hear them making so much noise in the background. So I just want to try and finish this live within the next 5-10 minutes, and then I'll be back again with a video update, let you guys know how it's going. But let me know in the comment section how you guys are going, how your day's been, what you think of what I've had to say so far about the 12-week year. Is it something you would consider doing? Is the book something you would consider reading? I know Afia said yes, you haven't heard of it, you're inspired to read it. So definitely I'd say check it out. It's a really good book. Sorry, just checking the rest of my notes because I don't want to miss anything. That's it. Let me know, as well, if you have any questions for me, guys. It doesn't even have to be related to the 12-week year, but just in general, if there's any questions that you have, let me know and I can definitely answer them for you. But oh, okay, yeah, the main thing that I was supposed to talk about, which I haven't even mentioned yet, is because I'm a bit nervous to even mention it, but I'm going to mention it anyway. What the heck? What's the worst that could happen? I don't reach it. Oh, well. So I don't know if you watched my video where I basically shared my money goals for 2021. So I was like, in the year 2021, me and my big chest went to go and make this whole video telling you guys that I'm going to make 50K in the year 2021. Even when I made that video, I was like, Tolly, are you mad? But I made it anyway and I put it out there because, yeah, death and life isn't the power of the tongue. So I'm like, I'm going to say it, I'm going to speak it, I'm going to believe it, and I'm going to do the work. And to be honest, in January, I was on track doing the work, like proper focus. February, I haven't been as focused as I should be. And it just goes to show what they were saying in the 12-week year is so true. Because in my head, I'm thinking I've got 12 months to reach this 50K goal. It doesn't actually seem that unobtainable. Yes, it's a big goal, but because I was like, okay, half of it's going to be through work, half of it is going to be through side hustles, it's achievable because it's 12 months away. I still got loads and loads of months to make it happen. But now what I'm going to do is actually set a 12-week year goal. So it's a goal for the next 3 months. So now I only have 12 weeks to reach my goal of making 10K. Oh my gosh, that hurts my chest, even as I'm saying it. But that is the goal. So the goal is to make 10K within the next 12 weeks. And I have a lot of different plans as to how I'm going to do that. Some of the things I've been doing already, I'm still going to be doing more of, but also be more specific with how I spend my time on a daily basis. I think that's going to be the game changer and the most pivotal things, because I think in the past, what I've been doing is focusing on things that I like doing, like Instagram, for example. I could spend all day creating content for Instagram, which is great. It's good building a platform, and I really enjoy engaging with the guys over there. But at the end of the day, I need to focus on the things that are going to help me produce the income in order to reach that financial target. So I guess the next week anyway, first draft, which is great. Like, I'm so happy to have that first draft ready. It's all about my debt story, how I was able to pay, or how we were able to pay off our £36,000 worth of debt. And it's just basically outlining the steps in which we took to pay off that debt. So if it's something you're interested in, let me know. And I could definitely add you to the waiting list so that when it's released, I'll let you know it's released, and yeah, you can grab yourself a copy. So definitely week 1, that's a big goal for me. And then in addition to that, I've set myself, actually what I did as well. So I broke the goal down. So the goal is 10K in 3 months, which seems like a madness. But then when you break it down into a weekly goal, it is £833 every single week. And then when you break that down even further into actual products that I have, then it seems a lot more doable. So £833 is equivalent to selling 83 budget trackers, for example. And then obviously on my Etsy store, I have loads and loads of different digital products. And one of the things I want to focus on over the next few weeks is adding a lot more products to my Etsy store. And I actually want to do a lot more content sharing that process with you guys. So sharing how I'm creating those digital products. Because I know a lot of times, we have these skills and we can do these things, and we kind of do it because we've always known how to do it, or it's something we've kind of picked up along the way. But just assume that everybody knows these things, but not everybody knows these things, and people are searching for this information online. So I definitely want to do a lot more content sharing the behind the scenes as to how I'm doing that stuff. So how I make the products for Etsy, how I create the pins for Pinterest, sharing the behind the scenes, and then also sharing the finished products as well, obviously, with you guys in case they're products that are of interest to you. So I've set myself the goals, and I've broken it down into daily goals, what I want to reach each day, and things that I need to do every single day towards my goals. Because I know what they're saying, these authors, because they all kind of say the same kind of things. And it's the fact that you need to have a consistent system in place. So it's not just like habits as well. They're not just formed by what you do on Monday and then you don't do for the rest of the week. It's what you do on a daily consistent basis. So I'm going to make sure that I'm on a daily consistent basis, showing up and doing all the things that I need to do when it comes to all the products in the business, and all the promotional stuff that needs to be done. Also the outreach side of things as well, like reaching out to potential clients and prospects as well. So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I'm going to be doing a lot of work on, and I'll be sharing more of that, to be honest, over on my Instagram page. So if you're not following me on Instagram, definitely come over to my Instagram page, Tolly Frimpong, and you'll see a lot more stuff there. I want to try and post as well on my stories on a more regular basis, because at the moment I don't come up. It's so funny, I've been talking here for the past 25 minutes, but on my Instagram stories, I don't ever speak on there, like literally hardly ever you'll catch me speaking. The most you may find is me speaking just my voice. So I'll be recording my screen and talking. I don't talk to the camera like I'm talking to you guys now. You see, you guys are special. But oh, hey, babe. Isaac saying hello. But so I've even lost my line of thought now. But so I'm going to be sharing, I'm going to try to be more active on my IG stories because I'm not going to be creating as many posts, I don't think, in the month of March. I'm going to try and then just record live videos on my stories to kind of keep you guys updated on how the 12-week year challenge is going. And I also want to create a few trackers as well, actually, to track. In fact, I've created a couple and I want to share those trackers with you to track basically my progress, how it's going on a daily basis, because it's what you do daily that's going to make the impact. It's not what you do here and there. So definitely, if you guys are interested in taking part in the 12-week year challenge and you want to get a copy of the tracker, let me know and I can definitely send you a copy so that you can track your progress too. And we can do this challenge together. And I'm not just in it on my ones, doing it by myself. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions in the comment section about anything about the 12-week year challenge and what I'm planning to do, or just any questions in general. And if you guys don't have any questions, I think I will wrap up. I'm just making sure I've covered everything I wanted to cover on this live before I go. Yeah, I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. So it's just a case of letting you guys know about this book, The 12-Week Year, about the fact that I am doing this 12-week year challenge. So I'm going to be doing weekly. So I don't know whether to do a live every single week or do it, alternate it. So basically do a live. So for example, I've done this live today telling you guys about it. The next week so at the end of week 1, I can do an update video. So it could be pre-recorded, and then week 2, come back again, do live, and then week 3, pre-recorded, week 4, come back and do, yeah, basically like that. So alternate it week in, week on, 1 week on, 1 week off. Let me know which of the two you think makes more sense. In fact, I'll probably do a poll on the community tab, and then you guys can let me know which of the two you think would be better for me to do. Because I think, yeah, weekly lives, as much as that's what people requested, it's a lot to commit to be honest, especially now, obviously, the weather's getting a bit nicer and people are outside enjoying the sunshine. Even now, I've got the curtain closed because the sunlight's going to be too much. I'm like, oh, I should be out there enjoying the sunshine, but it's all good. It's good. It's great talking to you guys on the internet and talking to you guys and building that connection with you guys. So it's really, really good. And it's been a really good conversation. It's been good telling you guys about my 12-week year. I'm feeling a bit nervous at the fact that I've put it out there, but at the same time, I do like a challenge. I do like to challenge myself and push myself to reach these goals. And it's really good that you guys have stuck around to hear all about my 12-week year plans. And yeah, let me know in the comment section below if you guys have any questions. If you don't, I will call it a day. Oh, 3 minutes early. That's not too bad actually, because I was going to finish the call at 6 o'clock, so we've got a couple of minutes to go. So I don't know what else to say before I go. I'm just like, I don't want to go. I've just enjoyed talking to you guys so much, but no, I'm going to call it a day. Yeah, so if you guys are not following me on YouTube, then definitely subscribe to my channel. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, because I have loads of content on there all around personal finance, budgeting, frugal living, saving, investing. I do want to talk more about my investing journey online. So I did start investing back in November, and I don't know, because I don't know enough about investing, I feel very not scared, I won't say scared, but apprehensive about sharing my investment portfolio online, because I'm not ready for people to come and tell me that, what are you doing? You're not investing right. What do you think you're doing? You don't know what you're doing, all that kind of stuff. I'm not trying to hear any of that. So part of me is like, no, actually, I don't want to share that content. But then equally, it's kind of selfish of me, because I enjoy that content, watching it on other people's channel and seeing their portfolios and learning a lot from them. Like, I actually learn from other people's videos about their investing. So I'm like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. So hopefully, maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not sure actually. Let me not say yes or no either way. But it's something that I'm definitely considering sharing more of as time goes on. But for now, at the moment on my channel, it's all around personal finance, budgeting. Budgeting is my favorite subject. I talk a lot about budgeting because I think there's definitely so much freedom to be had in having a budget. And yeah, that is literally it for today's video. If there is no questions, I will end this live here, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will be coming on. Actually, I don't want to say when it's coming, because I still am not confident about my schedule. I can't commit to 2 days just yet. So I do it for 2 days, but I can't say it's going to be on Tuesday and Thursday, for example, because every week it changes. Like, I haven't been consistent enough with it for me to say specifically these are the upload dates. But just know you're going to see a couple of videos coming out from me at some point during this week. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye. Okay, it's not ending. Why is it not ending? I don't know if it's ended or not.